next game we played was Amerigo. And we should probably start saying who the designer is because Matt did all this work to write him down.
It's Stefan Feld.
Yeah, Stefan Feld.
It's Queen Games.
It's also a Queen game.
There's a theme.
There's a theme here. But basically, Amerigo is a point salad game. If you never heard of that, I'm surprised. But if you haven't heard of it for real, point salad is basically you get points for everything you do in the game. There's stuff that people can stop. There's less player interaction usually, but for the most part, it's about scoring the most points on your turn as possible. And then you can score points through anything you do. And essentially the game works with, you have this map in the middle of the table that you build out all these islands. It's kind of like an exploration game. It has some kind of historical story, but Eric gets mad that we don't read these things. But essentially you put your ships out and you go into these different islands. It's a generated map, basically. It's always different. And these islands have like commodities on them. It's like a grid style thing. So you're trying to build buildings on those grid. And then once you build them, if you lay them on spots that have commodities, you get to collect those. Well, in addition to that, there's a board off to the side that has like these progress tokens, which are basically special ability tokens that you can gather. And then it has other commodity tokens that you can buy from there as well, using a different action. And then at the end of the game, you get points for all kinds of different things. One of them is having like you times the commodities you got off the islands with the number of commodities you bought from the store, basically. And then that gives you points. So if you had 3 of one and 2 of the other, you would get 6 points for that one specific commodity, etc. And there's a track that you can move on. A lot of these tracks that you move on will give you points depending on how far you made it and stuff. But the biggest thing about it is the dice/cube tower that's used in a few Queens games, which it goes off to the side and you dump, there's 49 cubes, there's 7 of each color, and each one represents an action. And so you start the game by dumping them all in that tower. The tower has these layers of, it's all punch board, but you have all these layers in it and they're cut out randomly. So a lot of them get stuck in there. And then as you dump things back in there later on, different colors and different cubes might come out. And so to start the game, you have this little color wheel, and then it starts with blue, which is a movement action. You dump those in the tower, everything comes out, you put them in the middle of that wheel, and then it dictates 2 things. One, how many action points you get to spend, and that's whatever the highest number of the cube is. So say you had 5 blue, a yellow, and a green that came out. You've got 5 action points to spend, and you can either do the yellow action, the blue action, or the green action. And that's pretty much it. I mean, I won't go into much more of the rules, but essentially you go around that color wheel each round, and then you go in player order, and they get to decide on which action they want to do. You get to do it that many times, and that's pretty much it. And you just try to move your ships around to new islands, put up trading posts so that you can build on the island, so you collect those commodities and you can gain points. I'm not going to start off. I'm going to let you all, Matt.
Eric.
Oh, all right.
Pass.
Yeah, I did like the game a lot. Like a lot of Feld games, there's a lot of different paths to victory, so you don't always have to do the same thing. So on one game you can just decide to get a lot of materials and go that route. On a different game you might pick up a different power tile that lets you progress your gameplay in a different way. So I did like it where every time you play, you can play a little bit differently. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, your routes they can be different, but it seems like the commodities is pretty strong. I think you kind of want to go a little heavy on the commodities. It seems like
you can collect. I think the thing is players have to be aware of the commodities the other players are getting. And because the thing is, each island that's being built, you put things on there or whatever, and they have all those commodities on there. Well, we've been playing it to where, just to tell you, we have the game now because I liked it that much. Spoiler alert. But, so I feel like you need to work together sometimes, but you also need to work against other players who are gaining commodities. I think we didn't do a good job of running around and be like, you won that, right?
No, the first time, not the last time.
Who won the? Oh, Eric. Eric wins everything.
Yes.
See, common occurrence here. Anyway, so, oh yeah, you did have a lot of one commodity. See, we should have stopped that.
I got a lot of coffee.
Yeah, because like if you have a lot of the commodity that you pick up from the island, it is multiplied by the other commodity that you buy from the store of the coffee. So your coffee times coffee, basically. But you start stacking both of those up and the points just go skyrocketing. If you collect all of one and say you had 2 of the other, then you're only getting 2 points for every tile. Whereas if you go up and up and up and up, it's almost like not really squared, but it's kind of like it jumps and jumps and jumps and jumps. So maybe we need to be a little bit more cognizant of that happening and kind of disrupt other people's plans. Because I mean, I feel like that's like one of the biggest interactions of the game is trying to steal the commodities from the other players. Otherwise, it really does help to kind of help other players build an island out, because at the end, whenever an island gets finished, the players score points equal to the amount of trading post on there times the round. So you play 5 rounds of the game. And so if you complete it in the first round, players are going to get a lot of points for their trading posts, because it's the number of trading posts there's a little chart basically, but it gets really heavy in points the farther you go down. So I think if you had like 5 or 6 trading posts on an island, you get like that or 10 times the round number.
Right.
That's crazy, considering the fact that in the 4-player game, we got like 140 points average amongst all the players. So I really like this game. And I know I haven't played it, but I feel like the tower works really well in this. And I would absolutely hate it in Shogun?
Yeah, Shogun.
Right.
Yeah. What did you think? I mean, both of y'all played Shogun.
It's probably a little more random than dice almost.
Yeah. Sometimes, you might throw, 1 red cube in and you get 3 red cubes and
your army would
gain
grow.
armies.
You throw 1 red cube and 3 brown ones and 3 blue ones come out and no red come out.
Yeah.
I feel like in this game it's okay though, because everybody's subjected to what's coming out that round.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if it was combat related, it's very just, I really just chuck some dice.
Right.
Yeah.
But very, very nice. I think the components were pretty good too.
Yeah. Well, actually, bringing up that point, that's another thing I did like about this game is, it's random on the different actions you can do every time you throw cubes in, but everybody has the same actions that they're able to do. Just everybody's going to pick something different, possibly, depending on your gameplay in that game. Whether you're trying to build more stuff or whether you're going for something else.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, there was multiple ways to victory. I think the progress tokens, after we've played it a few times now, man, that you have to get those.
At least get 3 of them.
At least get a couple, yeah.
And make them worthwhile and play to them.
Yeah, the extra, like some of those progress tiles is if you take a blue action, you get +2 to the blue action. So in the turns when you throw some cubes in the tower and like 1 blue cube comes out and 1 green cube comes out, well, first off, that green cube isn't really going to give you too much. I mean, yeah, you get to take one of your own building pieces, because there's neutral building pieces and there's your building pieces. The neutral ones are way more points when you build them, but they also cost more, whereas your pieces are always just 1, but they only give you 1 or 2 depending on how the big of the island is. But yeah, I feel like the progress tokens are the way to go. Like, you need those. I cannot see people winning this game without progress tokens in comparison to people who pick progress tokens.
Right.
yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if like, the progress tokens came out and all the weak ones, like the one-shot ones come out, like the ones you like flip over and you get 5 gold and you can do it once. Yeah, sure. But if the ones that give you plus action points on the first phase of the round of the game, that's huge, because you can literally do that action multiple times in a round times 5 rounds.
Right.
That ends up being crazy amounts of points. So highly recommend this game though. Very, very good. Possibly top 10 for me.
Oh no.
We'll see.